Hey guys, Scott Johnson here with Appslappy, and I'm excited today to talk about this new 8-bitty released by Think Geek. It's part of the iCade line of controllers, external controllers that work with your iPhone or your Android device or your iPad. In this case, or in today's case, we're going to be testing it with the iPad. I've also tested it with the iPhone. The results were identical, so I'm not really going to mess around with that as much because I want to keep this video relatively short. But the device itself is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We'll talk about how it works, show you some footage of me trying to use it with certain games, and we'll kind of take it from there, so hang tight. Alright, so here we go. Let's talk about this. This is me setting it up, pretty basic. You do like you do with any Bluetooth device. You go into your Bluetooth settings, duh, and you spend a bunch of time in there trying to figure it out. It's not actually very hard. You turn the switch on the back, as you can see. And I forgot during this video that you had to hold down a couple of buttons to make it do anything, which is pretty much true of any Bluetooth pairing of any sort, not just this type. And I forgot. So as I sat there and waited and looked at the screen, I realized, oh, well, duh. So you grab it again, and you have to hold down the two buttons on the front face. They're kind of like the start and select buttons if you compare this to an NES controller. After it blinks like that, it'll show up in the list. You choose it, it's now connected. Simple as that. You don't have to put any codes in. You don't have to mess with that at all. It is just what it is, and that's kind of a piece of cake. So the first game I tried was, or games I tried were some of the stuff that you can get on the Atari App, which has full support for iCade. And looks like pretty good support for the 8-bitty. There's not a lot of changes to it. You know, one thing that makes the 8-bitty a little bit unique is it's got these two shoulder buttons. And some of the games I play, which you'll see coming up here in a minute, did not like to just sort of automatically work with... Ooh, look at that. That's ugly, isn't it? Didn't like to automatically work with the buttons you would think would be the smart ones to use for shooting or for hitting hyperspace or whatever. But this was fine. You know, good old-fashioned asteroids. I would argue that of the games I tried, this controlled maybe as good as one might expect. From an old game perspective, it kind of simulates what the old arcade had. So here we are now playing Centipede. Centipede. And Centipede also played surprisingly well. If you recall, Centipede in the arcade had a ball, so the big trackball. And I'm a huge fan of the trackball games. The problem is most sort of current-day equivalents to that don't really work. Like analog sticks aren't as good as that, and neither is this D-pad, but it's better than the touchpad, so I would say that playing this game was kind of medium success. As you can see, I kind of had to... You know, the default button configuration is the D-pad for movement, and then you kind of see it out of the corner of the screen, the bottom corner red button for firing. And that felt right. That felt good. Other games... Well, none of the games tell you what buttons are going to get used. So, you either need to know ahead of time... Oh, I died. You need to know ahead of time when you're going in, or, you know, hopefully you can find the equivalent to whatever the setting is on the regular iCade, which I also have. So here is me playing... Battlezone, an old arcade favorite of mine. It's a little blurry, I apologize. Yeah, Battlezone is interesting because it, in the arcade, used two big shift sticks, like big tank controls. I don't know if anyone remembers this, but it was just, you know, big giant handles, these two grips you would hold with one hand, with both hands, and on the one hand, on the right hand, you had a small trigger switch on the top to actually fire your missiles. Which you can see me doing there. This was particularly lousy as a controller device for this particular game because I didn't really have any way to do good tank control. That is to say, forward with one, back with another, which kind of side steps in the game world. And there's no way to really replicate that, so that didn't work out so great. What do we have here? Oh, game of Tempest. Love Tempest. So Tempest is one of those unique games where you used a paddle. So the arcade machine, you'd spin this paddle around, and that's how you do the movement. So this particular game is notoriously kind of terrible no matter what new platform you put it on, because paddles just don't exist as a input device, and it always kind of plays kind of crappy. You can buy like MAME emulation paddle type things that you can use with your MAME box. But in this case, where we're doing this sort of all legit, there really aren't very many good options, and I'm happy to report that this played okay. It wasn't perfect. It's still not quite on par with what you'd expect from, you know, a paddle. Or look at me just Nintendo finger in that thing. But it worked all right. You know, I did okay. I've had better games than the one you're seeing here. I did pretty crappy here. Tempest is a great game, so happy to see it playable here. Alright, then we tried Super Crate Box. Super Crate Box? I want to say that. Yeah, Super Crate Box. A game I'm a huge fan of on the platform, and I have it on Steam as well, and it's a whole lot of fun. Here's the problem, and you can see it right there. I have to use those two center buttons, the start and the select buttons, to jump and shoot. That is ass backwards. It should be one of those red buttons, or you know, two of those red buttons that do those functions, and it doesn't. I mean, the point of this game is to grab as many of these crates as you can, not jump into holes like I just did. Grab those crates, they change your weapons, kill the stuff that's coming down, don't let them get into the fire because they come back as terrible demon creatures that'll kill you. You die a lot, that's the point, but eventually if you get enough crates, you get enough levels, or you get enough points, kill enough creatures, you unlock new levels, but it's designed to be this like, oh my gosh, I'm dead, I gotta go again, gotta go again kind of thing. I thought this would be perfect. It's okay. The problem is using those two center buttons is completely non-ergonomic, and it felt really stupid to use them. So part of the problem with this as a device, and it was true of iCade as well, you don't have any easy way in these games to reconfigure the controls, and that's frustrating. So I struggled with that. This is... oh, what's the name of this game? Let There Be a Door or something? Crap, I've forgotten the game. It's kind of like Pac-Man meets a roguelike, and clearly I'm not doing it right, so what's going on here? No options. Can't remember what the problem was. Oh, I had switched it off. Jeez, Scott. Brilliant. Brilliant, buddy. Anyway, it's like Pac-Man, trying to get away from these guys. You shoot them when you can. Or you're kind of automatically shooting all the time, as you can see. So when there's a creature to fight that are kind of like ghosts in Pac-Man, you shoot those until they're dead, and then you collect the fruit they drop. Every level is completely random. There's no... you know, everything's different every time you play it. It's kind of a cool game. It was cool when it first came out. This is a pretty decent use of that controller. I mean, how hard does it have to be? You're going left, right, up or down. There's no 8-way control, so it's not like you're trying to, you know, do anything weird with that kind of stuff, with that kind of control. And it does the job. I gotta say, though, very few games support the device really well. Those that do support it well aren't necessarily games you want to spend a lot of time with, and those who don't support it well, you know you would like to play with this, either support it badly and you don't have good control, or the ability to configure the controls, or they are using weird buttons for things, or they just don't support it at all. And that's frustrating. So, for $30, this thing cost me. I bought it on thinkgeek.com. And what was the original iCade? $99, I guess. I mean, there are worse things to spend your $30 on, but I kind of got the impression, or after enough of this playthrough, I'm getting the impression that there are probably better uses for your money, or at the very least, maybe you'll want to wait to pick it up. That being said, if you're an enthusiast for this kind of input, and you want to kind of bring this kind of retro feel back to your iOS devices, then you'll have a lot of fun with it. And you're a different case. You're not the usual case, I think. You're more like me. You want to try this stuff out. So, this game, more successful than others. As you can see, I'm playing it longer. It just felt right. Alright. Last one. The blocks cometh. Little dude has to jump up and stop these blocks. You can shoot him too, but for a while there, you can tell I couldn't find the shoot, so I'm just jumping, trying to stay up above him. Oh, he's dead. It's fine, except the jump button's great. Perfect position for the button. It's the right button you'd think it'd be. It's very intuitive. To shoot the blocks, you got to hit the trigger button on the front face of the thing, like one of the finger triggers, which really made no sense to me. It feels real goofy. My hand hurt after a while because and I haven't even shot one of these yet. Here, I will in a minute after I die, I think. Because at this stage, I'm pretty much dead. Because I can't shoot anything. But when you do start doing that, your finger just starts to freaking hurt. And didn't enjoy that at all. There is a way to climb up those, but I wasn't aware of it. Anyway, so you can see this is just kind of awkward, and I'm not sure what I'm doing, and now there's no way he's going to live. Okay, there he's dead. Then I started to learn how to fire, which I do right here, I think. Come on, buddy. What are you doing? No, maybe he's not. Get up there. Here we go. Whoa. Oh, screwed. Clearly I suck at this game. It would help if I didn't suck at it. Oh, see, now I figured out how to shoot, and that killed me. So you get the right idea, or you get the idea of how this thing's supposed to work. You're supposed to shoot these blocks. Now, if that trigger wasn't there, if it was one of the B buttons or the face buttons, it would have been so much freaking better. So I really struggled with this. Kind of pissed me off. But what are you going to do? Because I think this game may benefit more than others. But this is the general problem. Not enough games. There's maybe 10 to speak of, and I'm counting the Atari stuff as one of them. They advertise it as if hundreds of games work with it. Well, I guess that's true. If you crack open the Atari game and there's like 99 games in there, then you're sure you've got 100 games. So there you have it. I don't know. I'm kind of torn. A little bit torn on it. I think it's a pretty cool device. I mean, I want it to be more supported, I guess, is all I'm looking at. It's just kind of right now a bit of a gimmick or a bit of a novelty. Give this thing time, though. Maybe more adoption with more games. Maybe some older games will go back and retrofit their control schemes to support the device, like some of the iCade supporters did. One game I didn't show that I actually meant to is Super Mega Worm, which works pretty well. But holy crap, my hand hurt after playing that game. And that's the other problem I keep running into with this, is some of the games, while support is okay, you're just killing your hands. And then there's others where the support isn't so great, and the control just feels weird. It's just a bit of a mixed bag. I'm not unhappy that I got it, but I think people should at least be under the fair warning that this is not necessarily going to work right out of the box for every game you own, or even those you expect it to work for. So you're going to have to do a little bit of work to find the best thing for you, the best fit for you. My recommendation, give it a little while. Let it have some time to solidify as a popular device, hopefully. And let's see more developers support it. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll see you on the flip side.